Hello, everybody. I'm Lips from the band Anvil. You are watching The Age of Metal. You know it.
Hello everyone, this is Miguel with The Age of Metal, and I'm here with Lips of Anvil, pretty much the biggest heavy metal band coming from Canada. 30 years in the road, well, not in the road, in the business, and keep going, right?
That's it.
Well, this is a new North American tour that started last March, and it's kind of a little bit longer than the previous tour. How has been the tour for you guys so far?
Been absolutely excellent, and it's actually the longest tour I think we've ever done, period.
In the United States?
No, anywhere.
Anywhere?
Yeah.
Any cities that so far have stand up to, you know, that you can say, wow, that was a huge, big-ass crowd?
No, not really. I don't really think about it. I don't really think about the size of the crowd. I never really think about it. It doesn't really make any significant difference to me because the songs and my performance always remain consistent.
Will the energy of the crowd will make an impression on you?
Sometimes it does, and sometimes it makes no difference, you know. Sometimes it can have a small crowd that has more energy than a huge, large crowd. So, how do you compare it? You don't. I don't bother. I try to make every night as consistent as possible, so that no matter who is there, they're impressed. That's what my goal is.
Well, Anvil came out with a new album last year, Hope in Hell, and it was released almost a year ago, around March, April last year. Yep. How has been the reception of the fans of the new Anvil material?
I think it's been really good, as far as I can tell. I mean, how do you know? How do I know? I mean,
people come back to you.
The real truth about putting albums out, you don't really know what you did till about 20 years later. Okay. Like when we put out Forge and Fire, at the time, slagged in many magazines, overlooked by others, and then 20 years later, it's the top of the mountain. So what does it all mean? What it means is time has to go by, and people will judge it in time. To know exactly what it is at the moment, you do the best you can as a band and as a writer, and you hope for the best. And it's really down to how do the people accept it or don't accept it. That's the way it is.
Gotcha. Well, talking about the respect and the legacy that Anvil has during the last 30 years, and I think this is important coming from you, that you've been there in and out of the industry during the last 30 years. In those 30 years, how have you seen the change on the heavy metal spectrum nowadays, and what would you change on it? I think the most important question will be, what would you change?
I think most singers should be fired because they're not singers. The criteria in which I believed in is completely lost. That's good singing and great drumming. Where do you find that? Very few bands have those elements at all, if ever. That's what heavy metal has turned into, quite sadly. I mean, there's the odd band that maybe they'll have a guy that actually sings, but very far and in between. In fact, more than 98% of the bands opening up for us on this tour have all been non-melodic, forgettable heavy metal. Can't tell one band from the other. Can't read their logos. Can't understand a word the singer's saying. There's not one redeemable melody. There's not one great drum lick. Not one great drum fill. Not even one great guitar riff. I've heard absolutely nothing that has caught my ear in any shape or form. What else is out there? I don't know. No one tells me about anything that I might like, because very few people are very scattered about what they like, so, and not necessarily believing in what they like. They almost like stuff as a matter of staying in touch with their own friends, and their only reason they're saying they like something is so that they fit in, rather than having a really discernible and focused opinion.
Gotcha. And going to that point, have you in all these years, or probably most likely in the last decade, you have find any band that you like, any new band out there that kind of impress you? No bands that are open for you guys, but you know, regular bands that are in rotation that are out there.
There's a band from Sweden, I believe, called Graveyard, that I thought was pretty good. But once again, that is within the criteria of which I believe in. It has good vocals and solid riffs and drumming. But aside from that, I can't offhand, and I'll say it in a biased way, Rob Reiner's son's band. I like them, although they do have the non-melodic vocals. It's still probably about the only band that I will give the time of day.
Gotcha. Now, we have here a band that is pioneer of heavy metal. That's definitely no doubt. You guys been around 30 years, 15 albums, studio albums under your belt. How difficult it gets to put together a set list for this kind of tour with all that, you know, all that music, all that career?
It's not really a matter of difficulty. It's what's necessary. I don't think we'll never be able to play all of our songs. I mean, there's over 150 songs, so you're only going to play 10 to 15 songs a night. So we try to do a good cross-section stuff. Certainly the old classics, like March of the Crabs, 666, Metal on Metal, Mothra, Forge and Fire, Winged Assassins. You know, we certainly try to keep some of the old standards there, but for the most part, all new. And I'm very proud to say that it goes over as well, if not better, than the old stuff.
Well, that's good to hear.
It's really commendable for a band that's got a history like we do.
All right. Last year, I hear that you guys were in a little mini run in Brazil. And I know this for a fact that Latin America, they grew up in early heavy metal. How was the response of the Brazilian crowds to Anvil?
Oh, just basically South America. It's off the hook. They love it down there. I mean, heavy metal is not a trend. It's a way of life. And the people are very, very, very enthusiastic. Probably one of the most enthusiastic audiences you could play for. I really don't know what to add to that. Certainly there are other places that are as excited, but they all show it. Every audience has its own personality. And I mean, you can play 2 nights in Brazil, and each night will have its own thing about it. So, you know, what can I tell you? Well,
almost 3 years ago, I got to see the documentary, The Story in Anvil. I got to see that at the Heavy Metal Film Festival in LA. At the premiere, you did a little Q&A with Sasha. But it's been almost 10 years since that whole documentary started.
Right.
Because I think the whole process started in 2005.
Right.
Well, it's going to be 10 years, and I see that the documentary put Anvil back in the spotlight. Did you ever thought that the response of the people and that the compelling of the story will create such a movement to put you guys back on the road?
It seemed really obvious to me. To many people, it was a big surprise, and I'm probably the least surprised. And why? We're one of the longest existing metal bands in that never made huge money. So it's about doing it for the right reasons. Real heavy metal is not supposed to be radio oriented rock. It's supposed to be metal and inaccessible and the music of the diehards. And I've stayed true to that for my entire career. It was something that needed to happen for heavy metal in a certain sense. That this is a prime example of a band that does it for the right reasons, for the sake of the music and the fans, not to get on the radio and not to fill their pockets full of money. It's about the integrity and playing heavy metal for the sake of the music. Why would that do well? Well, there's a whole world filled with diehard fans of heavy metal. And son of a gun, Anvil's still here, and we're getting a good pat on the back, which is, I feel, is earned. Not deserved, earned. And there's a difference. I've worked very hard and long to prove who I was and what I am. And I have a lot of self-pride and confidence. And I just felt that I'm the person to deliver this movie. I'm the guy. And I think my outspokenness, wearing my heart on my sleeve, and being honest would reign true, and it has.
Gotcha. Definitely, that's the message that we got from the movie. That's what moved us to when we watched the movie. The sentiment that we got from that movie. But now, at the same time, the movie generated a change of different events that catapulted the band. Do you think that at this point you can say we made it, or the way that you probably thought when you start back in high school with Rob, when you start a band?
Made it? Mm-hmm. What is making it?
Well, kind of like, it depends on the definition.
Yeah, that's right. It depends on your definition. My definition, I made it when I got a record deal back in 1981. Okay. And everything I've done ever since then, I've been continuing to make it. Okay. And that's the way I look at it. I don't look at it as a financial success, because there still isn't. I'm still working on my first million. You know what I mean? So making it is, for me, is doing what I want to do, when I want to do it, and how I want to do it.
So you feel that you're in that point now?
Absolutely. I've been at that point, like I said, since the first album. So do I feel any different? No. I've always felt successful. And understandably, if I never recorded a record, that would be unsuccessful. But I've recorded 15 records. That's successful, in my opinion.
Well, the movie has different moments and different parts. Continuously, and after what happened in the movie, you guys still coming with those difficult moments, like not getting paid on the road, canceling shows. You guys still falling into that kind of.
Those things, you're never immune to it, no matter what you do. Those things still continue to happen. Okay. Why would it change? There's going to be promoters that run away before they have to pay you. what are you going to do about that? Like, how does a hardware store stop people from coming in and stealing the merchandise? You just account for it and deal with it. And it's still the same thing. Whether it's record companies, whether it's a bar owner, whether it's a promoter, whether it's a fan that steals something off the merch table. It's just the nature of it. It's human nature. That stuff does not go away, and you're never immune to it.
The younger fans that learned about Anvil through the movie, have you ever have any contact or a fan that comes and tell you, hey, I learned from you guys, and on the movie went back and check out your discography, and I love you guys. I mean, you guys been picked up more fans, more younger fans, more.
Well, actually, that's the biggest miracle of all. For an older band like ourselves, our crowd is almost more new people than the old. And in fact, I could pretty much on this entire tour that we've done so far, the balance is probably 70% are all new people. And were born after the band had long been in existence. So anywhere from, I mean, I've seen everything from 12-year-olds to 65-year-olds at my show. And that's a great thing. That's a really great thing. And that's one of the big magic aspects that the movie brought. We've increased our range of who we've brought in. And that's a really great thing. To bring in young people is your future. Without that, you have no future.
Your legacy.
Because old people die and young people replace them. And we've got a whole bunch of young people now. So that's our future.
Good. That's good to hear. Now, I know that, well, okay, the record came out last year. I don't know if it's too soon to ask, but you guys writing, or is there any plans for a future record, for next record?
We already have most of the next record already written, so it's just I'm not sure when we're going to go in to do it.
Okay. Gotcha. So we will see it probably around 2015-16?
Could be. We'll see. I really don't. Let's put it this way: when a band has 15 studio albums, there's no hurry.
So okay.
You put out a new album, oh, yet another one that everybody has to get. Never mind the other 15 that they don't have. So there's time. We have the time. It's on our side.
Gotcha. Well, what is next for Anvil after this North American tour? You guys have booked as...
We got a Canadian tour that's in the works. Possibly the Middle East, Australia, Japan, China.
Are you excited? Are you excited about any of those exotic places like the Middle East and China?
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. In fact, last spring we played in Singapore with Metallica, and we opened up a whole new market for ourselves, and that's created a huge demand for the band, and we're probably going to go back.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Any word on expanding probably the South American part, kind of like not just only Brazil, like Colombia, Argentina, Chile?
Oh, we'll be going back to South America. We were there just a little while back, just a few months back. I mean, you got to go at least try to get there once every year if you can. Although we only did a small amount of shows, we hope that the next time will be much more longer and more cohesive,
Gotcha. Well, closing up, any last words that you wanted to address to the fans of Anvil out there?
It's never too late, and tomorrow is always another day.
Well, Lips, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us. Definitely looking forward for the first time personally seeing Anvil, and definitely congratulations on a great record, and congratulations on keep it up. I mean, stay true to heavy metal and stay true to what it is.
That's right.
Thank you very
Never
much.
sell out.